I know I complain a lot about my kids, but they've ruined my life.
I love them, but they treat me horribly.
And people without kids are always like, I'd never let my kids treat me horribly. Oh, yeah, you would. You know what the alternative is? Jail. So you let them treat you horribly and you just think about alcohol. I was thinking, if I told a therapist how my kids treat me, but I didn't say they were my children, if I was like, yeah, I live with these 5 people, they eat all my food, they spend all my money, and when I ask them to do anything, they just yell at me. Any therapist would be like, you should move out. You're the victim of abuse. I love them. And I know they love me. I mean, even though when my 18-year-old son does say I love you, it does sound like he's auditioning for an acting part he really doesn't want. Love you, Dad. Okay, that was a good start. Let's try it again. This time I want to hear some more affection, maybe sense a relationship. Love you, Dad. All right, well, we'll let you know. Thanks for coming in.
But I think husbands have had a fear of their wives throughout history. I bet you Genghis Khan, the most vicious warlord to walk the earth, I bet you he was a little afraid of his wife. Genghis Khan probably had buddies over and he was bragging about some conquest and he's like, and then I just stabbed this king and I was watching him bleed out. Did you hear my wife? Oh, hey, honey, how you doing? Well, we've been too loud, we can keep it down. And I'm sure his wife was perfectly normal, perfectly calm. She's like, no, you're fine, Genghis. I was just wondering, are you planning to invade a village later? And he's like, I was thinking about it, but I don't need to if you don't want me to. She's like, no, but if you do, if you could pick up some butter, that would be great. And that's not to say that he wasn't assertive in how he communicated. You know, there was probably times when he's like, honey, I'm happy to run these errands, but I just feel like sometimes you forget that I'm the great Genghis Khan, the greatest warrior to walk the earth. And she's like, you know, out there you might be a world conqueror, but at home you're just a dad who travels too much. Because Genghis Khan was a dad, many times over. 6% of the entire Asian population alive today can trace their ancestry back to Genghis Khan. He was busy. Now, I don't know what his wife knew. I don't know if she ever asked, like, Genghis, after you invade those villages, what do you and your army do? And she's like, well, after? Golf. There must have been a moment where Genghis Khan and his wife walked into a village and the wife was like, Genghis, do you realize all the children in this village? They look like you. And Genghis was like, what, because they're Asian? I mean, do you hear yourself, honey? You sound kind of racist. I'm just saying, you know. If I were you, I wouldn't bring that up.
No, I don't know if any of that happened, but it is a historical fact that Genghis Khan had a wife. Genghis Khan was married to Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan. Talk about a power couple.
It is great to be here. I look good. I don't know if you know, I'm normally a fat guy. But since I've lost all this weight, now I'm just arrogant. And by the way, thin people, that's how we view you. As arrogant bastards. I've lost weight. Since I've lost weight, I find I get 2 types of reactions. One group, these people, they won't even say anything to me. They'll just go up to my wife and ask, is Jim okay? Which sounds like concern, but I just hear judgment. Because to them, it's more likely that I'm sick than I would ever have any self-discipline. Well, obviously Jim's not exercising and eating healthy. He must have cancer. That's one group. The other group, these people will come up to me and accuse me of being on an appetite suppressant. They're like, you're on Ozempic, admit it, you're on Ozempic. And I'm not, all right? I'm on a different one. I'm on Mangiaro, which is better, right? Because it sounds like an Italian restaurant. Welcome to Mangiaro. When you hear You're not eating anything because you're a fat ass. Now, I understand some people are against the appetite suppressants. You know, that's cheating, it's cheating. I'm not playing Major League Baseball. I'm just a fat guy trying to not die. But it's not fair. Yeah, neither is balding and being born with no pigmentation. But I've learned to deal with it. This is an exciting time for me. I'm thin, I'm in my 30s. It is crazy. Most of my adult life, I heard this constant internal monologue. Jim, you gotta stop eating. Jim, you gotta control your impulses. And now I know all I needed was a weekly shot that killed all the passion inside of me. I've learned so much. I now understand thin people, you don't forget to eat, you're dead inside. Life is about compromise. Sure, I may never feel true joy again, but I can finally fit in my clothes that went out of style 30 years ago, so it's not a bad deal. It's crazy. These appetite suppressants are a game changer. Here's what's gonna happen. All us fat people are gonna become thin, then we're gonna mix in with you thin bastards, and when you're not looking, we're gonna eat you. Doesn't matter if we're hungry, we just like to eat. Nom, 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 nom. Recently, I was invited to a surprise birthday party. It was a surprise birthday party for a dog. That's right, I have friends that are mentally ill. I went. It was in my apartment building, and I needed the material. And to be fair, the dog was surprised. Didn't suspect a thing. Dog didn't know it was his birthday. The dog didn't know it had a birthday. The dog wasn't sure why people were in the apartment. It was the dog's third birthday, which in dog years doesn't matter. Someone made that up, and we just went along with it. Oh, 1 year equals 7 for doggies? Okay. When I see a dog, I'll do math. That's not fulfilling some dog need. You know, there's not a dog sitting in a bar right now going, I'm not 3, I'm 21. I can legally drink. That's not how dogs keep track of time. If you have a dog, you know they don't keep track of time. You've left your home, forgotten something, walked back in, only to be greeted by your dog like you've just returned from war. They're back! It's a miracle! They're back after I don't know how long, because I'm a dog! These poor dogs. We just attach these points of view on these poor dogs. Like dog is man's best friend. How desperate are humans? We're best friends, right? Dog's like, well, aren't we different species? But we're best friends forever. You know, you locked me in the house all day with nothing but a bowl of water. You'd think you let your best friend sit on the couch. We're best friends. Now put on this fireman's outfit. We're gonna do a photo shoot for Instagram. You know, sometimes when you sleep, I think about eating your face. But I get it. I love dogs too. I love animals. We all have the friend that announces they love animals in a way that implies the rest of us are drowning kittens. Yeah, but I love animals. Well, that's a pretty exclusive group of just you and anyone who's not a serial killer. Yeah, but I just get along with animals better. Or humans don't like you. I did have an opportunity to go on a safari, which was unbelievable. It was breathtaking how bad the Wi-Fi was. I went on a safari, which is just a fancy word for animal stalking. Because that's what you do on a safari. You follow animals and watch them. You're like... Beautiful.